Let's move on, though, now to the Detroit Lions. Honestly, I think personal favorite of the channel outside of our favorite teams. We just like rooting for them. So, but before we get into that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button. Help Ryan and I get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the NFL draft. It's just shy or just less than 2 months away. And we are just shy of 1,000 by like half of it. So, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment on what you think the Lions should do this offseason, and let's get into it. The Lions are they're going to win the division, I think, in 2023. You heard it here first, March 1st, 2023. I just think the Vikings, as we're going to get into here in a little bit, got lucky's not the right word, but it just felt like it just wasn't. It was they had a one trick
like frauds.
They had a one trick pony kind of way, I think, of winning some games. While the Lions, I think, could beat you in a lot of different ways. They can run the ball all over you. They can throw the ball all over you. They could do both. And honestly, in the second half of the year, their defense really picked up. So where did they rank defensively?
So
they were 29
per game allowed. They were tied for 28th at 25.1, but they were also had the fifth best offense in the NFL at 26.6 points per game.
So to me, personally, I think that number is a little misleading because you go and look at their games from like the first half of the season when really honestly it's like the moment from they fired their secondary coach and on. That defense got so much better. But if you look at the first before their bye, they gave up 38, 27, 28, 48, 29 points. Then after that, the most they gave up was 37 points to the Carolina Panthers. It's kind of an outlier a little bit. They gave up 31 to the Dolphins, which isn't shocking. They did give up 30 to the Bears, but they won that game. Other than that, though, I mean, they had a 28-point game against the Bills, which actually isn't horrible. That was a Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
So the defense
could have won that one.
They should have won that one. So the defense definitely showed improvement the entire the entire second half of the season.
So they did all of that with the league's youngest roster.
Yeah.
And so that to me is what's really impressive. They improved in their one possession game record from, I want to say they only won one possession game in 2021, and in 2022 they were 4-5 in those. I think with the way that this team has been playing and how aggressive they are on both sides of the ball, I can only think that is going to go up.
Yeah.
And so I like what they have going on. It's kind of scary to look at it because DJ Chark is a free agent. They're not going to re-sign him because Jameson Williams is going to fill that role. Yeah. And then Amon-ra St. Brown, probably the best slot receiver in the NFL right now, if not one of. The only person I can really think of off the top of my head would be Hunter Renfrow, but he was hurt all year. So
I mean, I guess you could technically probably classify Tyreek Hill as a slot if you had two XY receivers, but I mean that's a stretch. I'm just trying to just be devil's advocate here. I agree. I think Amon-ra St. Brown he's one of the best receivers in the league, just in general. I think he had over 100 catches last year, over 1,000 yards. Yeah. So I think he even missed a game. So
yeah. No, I really like what they have going on offense, and like you said, this defense once they fired their secondary coach will only improve. And I want to say they have positive cap space. They have $13 million.
Well, and so that's more now. They cut Michael Brockers, which cleared up, I believe, $8 million.
Okay, so they're $21 million.
I believe, depending on whatever that math comes out to.
Well, 13 plus 8 is 21.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So they have $21 million. They don't have too many key free agents. Like I said, DJ Chark, Michael Brockers was released. Jamal Williams is a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't really see.
It's interesting, too, because I think outside of Aiden Hutchinson on the defense and Jeff Okudah included in that, I think a lot of the other positions are kind of fair game for young talent to come in because I think that it is definitely going to be the area of need. And it's going to be, I think, a meritocracy over there on the defensive side of the ball. Whoever's just going to be the best player. Doesn't matter. And with the 2 first-round picks, I'm sitting there. I'm at 6. I think that go top corner unless if somehow like Will Anderson
falls,
or like falls. Maybe they go Tyree Wilson, but I I think it would. I think they could
I
get
really
other edge rush help.
I like the Devin Witherspoon pick or Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., whichever one you like at 6.
Yeah.
I think you might be able to get Joey Porter Jr. at 18. However, I think Lucas Van Ness at 18 he's going to go in the middle of the first round. He is so powerful,
Mm-hmm.
and I think his style of play would fit Dan Campbell's system so well.
Oh yeah,
I would love that pick. Their draft capital is kind of crazy. So they have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third. They're all within the top 81 picks.
Jeez. Yeah. So I mean, they're going to add a lot of talent, a lot of defensive talent too.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they add another weapon. I know Jameson Williams on the outside. They have Amon-ra St. Brown. Yeah. Cedric Tillman maybe at 81 could be one. They could also add a tight end with one of those 2 second-round picks.
And I will say this, and this is where I am not a fan of the Lions drafting a quarterback 6 overall.
Yeah.
If you get into that late second, early third round, and then like a Hendon Hooker's there, I'm curious to see Tanner McKee's highlights.
Yeah.
Start building for the future for Jared Goff for Jared Goff to depart. I think you still have a couple more years left of Goff on his contract. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I think that would be, if they wanted to go quarterback, I think that also could be a need that they could fill later on. Like in those middle drafts, get the higher end of the second tier type quarterbacks. I'm not a fan of them going 6 overall. Devin Witherspoon could come in day 1 and win. You draft Hendon Hooker with your second pick in the second round, it's a luxury pick at that point. Like, hey, bring some competition in, and that dude could sling it. Like, I mean, he played really well at Tennessee. I think he could fit well in that offensive system.
Yeah. My only thing with him, he's 26. That Tennessee offense, while effective, was fairly simple.
True.
A lot of stack concepts where you're just reading. You have one read and you're following where the safety doesn't go.
True.
And so that for me is a little concerning with Hendon Hooker. Also, he 26-year-old coming off a torn ACL in November, I believe.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, though, is we're having these conversations so Geno Smith is how old? 32?
Yeah.
So, and then when we just talked saying, like, we think he should get a multi-year extension, 2 years, maybe 3 or something like that. So that would put him at 35. So if you draft this kid at 26, and if you get 4 to 5 consistent years out of him, either as a minimum a good backup, and then if he is able to play, and then if he's able to play decent ball and be a good game manager like a Jimmy G or an Alex Smith, then you sign him for another 3 or 4 years. Now we're putting him at that same time span at 34. Yes, you're not getting him for over a decade like how you're going to get with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, but I think with that luxury pick, and that like a backup quarterback is a need, I think you can kind of have him grow, because the quarterback position has definitely evolved into, Tom Brady's 45, Aaron Rodgers 39. Kirk Cousins is 34, and he's coming into a contract year, and maybe they'll re-sign him for.
Those are all. Aaron Rodgers is a lot more mobile than those guys, but those are all very different style of quarterbacks, though.
I agree. I'm just saying that the longevity for the position, if you could stay healthy and not take hits, is different than like a running back.
Is like at 81, if you're looking at a Cedric Tillman who can come in and be your X receiver, right? Like in day 1 versus a Hendon Hooker who it's like, okay, well, best case scenario, he pans out and he's a game managing quarterback. It's like, all right, I'm going to go with the receiver, and then I can take a project guy with 5 or one of my 2 6-round picks.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
So that's my perspective on it. Hendon Hooker just concerns me. So sorry, I get it. No.
I totally get it. I just think it's an interesting thing to think about, because the Lions, they have that luxury pick. If they had 1 second and 1/3, I would be like, no. I would go your route, 5th round. Let's draft. Who's that Fresno State
Jake
guy?
Hayner.
Yeah, like let's draft him there and see if he can grow into somebody. Yeah. But then now you have all these luxury picks. Be like, we're addressing so many spots on the defense. Yeah. It's like, let's dress one for the quarterback. Maybe he hits.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but all in all, I think the Lions are in a great spot. I agree that they have the best chance, in my opinion, to go forward and win the division in 2023. You just look at the talent that's already on the roster. They have cap space to add more, and they have 5 top 80 picks, basically. So for me, I really like what the Detroit Lions have going on. So,
yeah.
But let's go ahead. Let's wrap them up there.